that challenges God. In the last kingdom, the last form of government that's kind of tried to take over the world is that which is made of clay and iron. Okay, it's called democracy. Democracy. Partly clay, the people, partly iron, the army. What gives you the right to enjoy the Constitution of the United States? Our army. Our army. Partly clay, partly iron. Cannot and will not work. Will be destroyed. Nobody can take over or run the world except for Jesus Christ. End of story. And those who try, he says that there's going to be 4 or 5 kingdoms that try. In fact, there'll be 10 kingdoms in all. And these have all come to fulfillment. Right? Creating this image. This golden image. And that's the thing, God did cut down the stump, the tree there in Jerusalem, but left the stump there. And there it regrows. It regrew. And there we see today, Israel, 1948, has been replaced. It regrew. And today they're rebuilding the temple. Right? But it's because of their fathers. Those who have been rejecting and rebelling against God from the beginning. Who continually want to make God a temple worship. Come to the church, come to the temple, come to the synagogue. And here's where you can worship God. And Jesus doesn't want that. Comes to destroy that. Comes to confront us in our sin with our sin. The truth. The truth. It's amazing to me that in America, one of the largest Christian countries on earth, are all about going, we go to church every Sunday, and glory be to God, look at my new clothing, and look at my stuff, and I go to church because this stuff has consumed my mind and my thinking and everything, and God, how do I get more stuff? And you got a pastor sitting there, millions of millionaires telling you, this is how you get more stuff, Pay your tithes, pay your tithes. Come on, guys, come to church and pay your tithes. Yet, across the world, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of God's children are being beheaded, destroyed, and murdered. And no one says anything. In the same way, when Hitler began gathering up the Jews, and no one said anything. Not even the Jews. Just like they're in Babylon. And they start gathering them up. And then they say Nebuchadnezzar decides to build the statue. Daniel said, don't do it. Because a rock's going to come and hit the hill. And when that statue falls, it will be destroyed. And the one in whom it falls on will be knocked into dust. Right? That's the thing. Murder is never okay. Commandment number 1, thou shalt not kill. And it's kill. Kill another human being made in God's image. Shall not do it. Right? We are to stand up and protect and guard our neighbors, whether they be enemies or not, as though we love them as ourselves. No, this is how it is. Every Sunday morning when you hear the bells and the whistles, the music, and all the people playing their songs, it's a call to worship. And everybody who does not bow down to the image that Nebuchadnezzar has set up shall be destroyed. And in fact, I'm going to turn up the fiery furnace. You know, that was Babylon's thing. That they fired brick. That they came up with the brick. And they had great buildings and great cities because they put their bricks in a furnace and they fired them, and there they were 10 times stronger than any other brick. These 3 boys, Daniel's buddies, resolved in their heart, no matter where I go, no matter where I am, I'm going to worship God with all my heart, mind, and soul. Even if you throw me into a fire cranked up 7 times hotter than you've ever seen before, I will not bow down to your idols, your statues, or your way of life. And Nebuchadnezzar wants to throw him into the fire. And all the world and everybody, every time they'd hear that noise, the trumpets blare and the music sing out, all across the world they bow down to the image. Except for these 3 boys. Right. Bow down to the word of men. Will not bow down to man's word, but only to the word of God. Fine. Nebuchadnezzar was so angry, he grabbed those boys and let's throw them in right now. It was so hot, it was so dangerous, it was so nasty. He consumed the men, his own men who were throwing them in the fire. They were burned away. Yet it was while they were inside the furnace, inside the fire. And everybody noticed. And Nebuchadnezzar, the king himself, said, "Did we not throw 3 men in the fire? Why do I see 4? Tell me, why do I see 4 when I threw 3 in there? And how is it that they're walking around and the fire doesn't consume them?" Right. He says to them, "Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, come out of that fire. Come out of there and talk to us. Tell us, how is it you're not consumed? And why do I see a 4th one standing there that looks like an angel? Man, I think he's the Son of God. Come out here and tell us all about it." And they walked right out of that fire. Right up to Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar says, "My God, I can't even smell smoke on you. How did you do it? What? Your God?" And Nebuchadnezzar falls down on the ground and says, "It is your God. And because of your faith and your unwillingness to bow down to the word of men." Right? That we will worship. Nebuchadnezzar makes a decree. An angel of the Lord saved these men because of their faith in God's word, hope and promise. And if anybody defies their God, I'm going to destroy him and I'm going to cut him into tiny little pieces. Because their God is the living God. He's the truth. Right? Sometimes in life, we're willing to, and Jesus says, man, moms and dads, brothers and sisters will hand you over to be flogged and hurt and murdered. How could it be, Lord? How could it be, Lord? How could a mother and a father and a son and a brother and aunt and uncle hand over the children whom they love to be destroyed? Because they don't believe in the power of God's Spirit that dwells in them. And they won't speak out. They won't say anything. And they just watch them be taken away. hurt, and destroyed because they fear men above God. Jesus says, man, the day is coming when the nursing mother is going to be in great anguish. How I pray for that mama in that day. They sieged Jerusalem for 3 straight years to a point where they were literally living in a state of cannibalism to stay alive. And Titus, Roman emperor, come, and when he sieged that town, Titus bragged, when I walked through downtown Jerusalem, the blood touched the bridle of my horse. And we wonder, is God with us? Does God truly love us? And God says, this is peace and happiness. Those who believe me and keep my word, those who believe me and obey my word. It's amazing to me that we put things, stuff, money, pride above a human being, their soul, their well-being, our love, our willingness to love them. Moms and dads, allow men to say to them, we're not going to help you with your child. We know they're lost in the hands of the enemy. We know their life is at stake, but we're not going to ransom them. We're not going to pull them out. And if you do it, you're going to jail, you dirty bastard. How dare you love your mother, your fathers, your children, your daughters, and your sons? How dare you do that? We will throw you in prison for that. And this is the country that says, in God we trust. And I'm telling you, when the enemy comes, you better go into slavery. Because you have acted wickedly and evil within your own heart by placing the things of this world above the life of God's children. Nullifying commandment number 1. Nullifying commandments of God. Love your neighbor as yourself. You nullify that. You throw that away in the hopes for prosperity, prospecting, gold digging, a new car, over the value of a life. And it was when Nebuchadnezzar found out that God's children have an eternal value and it cannot be stolen by the word of man or the power of his hand. He come to realize that the worthiness God brings to a human being is so great and it reserves so much respect that he said, use me. And I will be the rod that bashes them all to pieces for not believing in you, not calling on your name, for not trusting in the living God. Right? And we're here in this world and we say there's no hope. Surely God has left us. Because he's not going to hear and listen to the prayers. He's not going to deliver them. And we're left in a state of wantingness. Without hope, without faith, without love. But Jesus Christ comes to remind us. That it was his body that was smashed. And he was willing to lay down this body. And it was he who was the rock. who come to destroy his own temple, so that no man could be accused of the destruction of God's temple. But only God himself could give us life, could destroy it, and then save it for his eternal glory. You know, the image of Nebuchadnezzar which he sets up is our image. Our image. Us. Right? You want to see the golden statue of Nebuchadnezzar? It's called that thing that looks like an Oscar in Hollywood. Trying to influence you and make you think that this is the way to happiness. Be like us. Be like me. And the world's suffering, going, my God, that is not the way to happiness. As Jeremiah said, you deceived me. I have more pain and suffering in my heart than I ever had before I knew you. And God's saying the whole time, it wasn't me who deceived you. It was the idols and your unwillingness to believe that love is the greatest gift of all. That's the greatest gift of all. And if we're not willing to recognize that love is the greatest gift of all, surely, we will hand over our daughters and our sons to the enemy. And the enemy will destroy them as lambs being led to the slaughter right in front of your eyes, so that your eyes will be gouged out and your ears will be cut off. And there's no way you could ever believe God is in control. I want to remind you that God is not only in control, He, before this happened, spoke to each and every one of us and said to us, children, I, God, am the Most High, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And not one shall ever feel any pain or any harm, even if they walk through the fire of hell. Smoke will not consume you, for it is in that place we find Jesus Christ standing with us. So I want to remind you that you are the temple, and nothing grieves God more than when His temple is destroyed. And Jesus says to each and every one of us, to everyone who has been destroyed by the power of Satan's work, has an everlasting promise. At my right hand, where no one can touch you, harm you, or hurt you. Believe in God and not men. If we worshiped God in spirit and truth, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of human beings spread across this world will be delivered from the pains and the sufferings caused from confusion. I love you, and I want you to know God has heard your voice. He's coming to answer your prayer, and He loves you more than this world can express. See you next time.